Hello everyone, this is Jeff Mazzeo, CMO at Scitara, and I want to talk to you today about the results of a poll that we did a few weeks ago asking customers what percent of their laboratory assets are digitally connected. So in the poll there were 4 options and it was all ranges of 25%. So in other words, option 1 was 0 to 25%, 25 to 50 was option 2, 50 to 75 option 3, and then 75 to 100 for the 4th option. So I wanted to go through the results and then talk a little bit about what the recommendation is from Scitara with regard to how to get closer to 100% for each one of these 4 tiers. So talking specifically about 0 to 25%, that was actually the most popular answer in the poll. So 35% of the respondents said that they're at 0 to 25% connectivity. Now for people in this range, obviously you're very early in your digital transformation journey. So what you've got to do is focus on your existing laboratory workflows and methods and determine which ones would benefit the most from achieving digital connectivity of the assets that are involved with it. So spend some time on that, determine which method. You spend a lot of time doing manual intervention, i.e. manual transcriptions, which we talked about in the last video and all the problems with that. Determine which assets are involved and then come up with a strategy to connect those assets digitally so that you no longer have to do all the manual intervention and manual transcriptions. Now, if you use Scitara as your platform to make those connections, the beauty is that once you've got it installed for those initial workflows and methods, you can then continue to add other ones as you try to get closer to 100% connectivity. So the second range was 25 to 50%, and this was chosen, I should say, by 24% of the respondents. Here, you probably have some level of digital connectivity through some of your major systems. So for example, what we'll commonly see in this range is that you might have your chromatography data system digitally connected to your LIMS if you're in QC, or your eLab notebook if you are in R&D. And so that's a great start. But now as you think about, okay, what should I be focusing on next? What we would recommend is that you focus on your file-based instruments. So instruments that are not on enterprise informatics systems like a CDS. So file-based instruments, there'll be a variety of them, and the ones that you have are going to depend on what type of a lab you are and what type of industry you support. But the beauty of those is that you tend to spend a lot of time on manual transcriptions so that if you connect them, again, you're going to eliminate all the work that's associated with that. We at Scitara have a strategy and a universal connector that allows you to connect file-based instruments to the other assets in your laboratory. So again, bring our platform in and you'll be able to achieve that goal as you get closer to 100%. The third range was the 50 to 75% connectivity. And this is actually chosen by 29% of the respondents. So the good news here is you're more than halfway there with regard to your digital transformation journey and getting everything connected. So the recommendation we have for folks in this category is that you probably want to look at your benchtop devices. So things like pH meters and balances, because our experience is that usually those are the things that people in this category haven't connected. Again, at Scitara, we have a strategy. Actually, we have a couple different strategies for connecting your benchtop devices so that you can connect them to the other assets in your laboratory and eliminate things that are associated with manually entering balance weights and pH measurements. And then the final category, which was the 75 to 100% connectivity, was only chosen by 12% of the respondents. So again, it speaks to the fact that as far as the lab industry overall, it's still very early days with regard to the digital transformation journey. But if you're in the 75 to 100%, congratulations, you're there or almost there. And as far as our recommendations for people in this category, it tends to mirror what I just talked about, whether it's benchtop devices like pH meters and balances. Oftentimes those are the final things to connect, and or file-based instruments. And again, there tends to be a lot of different types of file-based instruments, and we at Scitara can help you with those as well. So in summary, those are the results from the poll. Hopefully this advice has been you find this advice useful. And once again, I would love to hear from you, any comments that you might have on this video. or anything that you'd like to challenge, please leave a comment or reach out to me directly. And once again, this is Jeff Mazzeo, CMO at Scitara. Thanks.